everyone, I'm Adrienne Everheart. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Today I'm going to talk about how to avoid time wasters in dating. So often my clients come to me and tell me that a man is just texting them and not actually making a date with them, or worse, they go on one date and then they don't hear from the guy for several weeks. So today I'm here with my very special guest, Helena Hart.
Hey everyone, thank you, Adrienne. I'm so excited to be talking about this topic today.
I'm so excited to have you too. And thank you so much for hopping over to my channel to share some of this information. So time wasters is a big thing in the dating world. So often when I talk to my clients, I encourage them to quantum date, and they say, oh, but I never really end up meeting the men that I find online because they are time wasters. So Helena, when time wasters come to mind in your coaching world, what really comes to mind as the number one problem and how we can solve it with time wasters in dating?
I love that. Great question. First thing that comes to mind is a man who just wants to text forever and not move things forward. This could look like all different kinds of things. A man who just wants to message you endlessly online and isn't setting up that first meeting, or once you do meet, he's happy just to be like a texting buddy, and he doesn't seem to be moving things forward in the sense of planning dates and kind of like moving the relationship along in his masculine energy. What do you think about that?
Yes, this is a huge problem. So in our programs, we have Find and Keep the One Without Coming Undone and Heartbreak to Happily Ever After. And when you get those two programs, you get access to our VIP library. And I actually have a book in there I've written that tells you step by step how to go through the dating process so you can avoid time wasters. So I'm going to share a couple with you today. And Helena, you just chime in whenever you want, because you are also so good at this, at speaking to a man, finding what you really feel so you can avoid that process of being just a chat buddy or a text buddy with this man. So the first thing I want to talk about is that men are kind of okay with having fantasy relationships with a woman. They don't always have to meet a woman in person. They can have your photo and be talking to you at, when they're bored. And that is a relationship to them. They're actually getting something out of that. Men can be actually kind of lonely creatures, as can women. But with women, this is where we're like, I want to meet you. If I don't meet you, it's not real. It doesn't count. And it really doesn't. So Helena, do you have any experience or any feedback on dealing with these types of men that are just looking for that fantasy relationship? I mean, they might be married. Who knows what's going on with them?
Yeah, that's such a common situation these days, especially. And I love what you said. So many women ask me, why is he texting me? Why is he continuing to contact me if he's not interested in meeting up? Or if, you meet up once a month, a couple times a month, and he's not escalating his efforts. And the answer is something you just touched on. He's getting something out of it emotionally. He's getting some need met. And if you just continue to meet that need, there's no real reason for him to step up and move things forward. So something you can say, let's say you're meeting online and he just wants to message back and forth endlessly, and maybe you want him to call. I always advise women to say something along the lines of, it feels great getting to know you, and it would feel good to match your photo with your voice. What do you think? ...
Oh, I love that one. And does that work well for your clients?
Absolutely. So some men, I always say, so even the most masculine energy men need a little direction at times, especially online dating, or even if you've met in some other way and he doesn't want to be too pushy. He might not know if you're single and available or if you're into him. So I hear from a lot of men too, who say they don't really know when to ask for a girl's number. Maybe the last 5 girls, they asked for the number and the girl said it was too soon. So if you can just say that, it would feel great to, talk on the phone sometime. It would feel good to match your photo with your voice. If he doesn't pick up the ball and run with it and ask for your number, then he's a time waster, right? If he just wants
He's
to
a
message you.
time waster, and his time is up. For sure. So the next tip I want to share with you is that so often, you will have kind of a good guy, that good rapport. You do want to build some of that through texting, or through email. You want to get that rapport kind of going. And I always say texting should lead to a phone call and then lead to a date. And it should just be 1, 2, 3, just like that. And if you find the man can't call you on the phone, what do you think the likelihood is that he's going to show up for a date? So about men and dating, they cast their net wide when it comes to online dating sites. And they will really send the same message to like 20, 30 women to see who will write back. Now, not all men, but this is a common theme with a lot of men. And they'll just find out who's going to respond back. So this is why instead of just the standard, hey, what's up? How are you? I want you to really get in touch with your feelings. And we actually have a method we share with you about how you can layer that response in a way that gets right to that man's heart. Now, let's fast forward to the problem of him just being a text buddy. You've asked for him. You've told him it would feel so lovely to get a phone call from you. What do you think? Or it would feel so good to chat on the phone sometime. What do you think? And he's not calling, but yet he continues to text you and check in with you. And you're starting to really like this guy because there he is chiming on your phone every day. So Helena, how would you just very subtly tell this man that, pretty much if you don't meet soon, if there's not a date soon, I'm not going to keep texting with you? What's your prescription for that?
I love that. This is so great. I'm laughing over here because it's something we hear from women all the time that's happening, right? So maybe something like, it feels a little weird to continue texting forever, before, without actually meeting in person, or it feels a little strange to me to have this sort of like, text buddy relationship with someone I haven't met yet. What do you think? Again, that's going to weed out the time wasters. If he is a masculine energy man, if he's truly interested and if he wants a real in-person relationship, he's going to be thrilled, right? He's going to be so like great, and he's going to set up that time, or he's going to call you. And here's where I'd love to hear what you think about this, Adrienne. After you set that boundary, don't continue to just keep texting him, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. So this is our downfall. And I'll talk to my clients and I'll ask them, how was the outcome of that text? And they said, well, I'm still texting him. And I'm like, no. So I'm going to talk about the boundary. I particularly love boundaries with men. It's a fun one to do. And this one, ladies, I don't want you to get your hopes up when I tell you about it, but I will tell you that oftentimes once you have this boundary, this is when you see a great transformation in the man. So let's say you've gone a couple of rounds of texting. Hi, how's your day? Oh, today's felt wonderful. Use a feeling statement, and you go just a couple rounds, and then you let him know. You can say, I feel so good hearing from you. It always laughs so much when we connect. Yet I'm looking for a regular dating relationship, and I don't feel like we're on the same page, so I'm going to be moving on. All right. So you got to lay that down, hit rewind so you can hear it again. But I'm going to be moving on. I'm looking for a regular dating relationship. I don't feel like we're on the same page, so I'm going to be moving on. So often with my clients, they say, oh my goodness, I sent this to several men and the guys just woke up. Another guy kept trying to text me, but I kept going over the same thing with him. We call it going broken record. You tell him the same thing, like, oh, hi, it's you again. That feels, great to hear from you. Yet I'm looking for a regular dating relationship, or something of that, sort of, instruction to him to let him know, I'm not just here to chat with you all day, buddy. I'm here to meet someone. Helena, what do you think about that?
I think it's great. And I love how you can really do it in a warm, open, feminine, authentic way, right? Like, oh, it feels good to hear from you. And here's something about me. Here's something you should know. Here's what I'm looking for. You're not shaming him or condemning him, like, or saying, why don't you call, right? There's none of that involved. You're like, feels good to hear from you. And actually, this is what I want. So are we on the same page or not? I really love that. And I did want to mention, you also don't, texting is great, you know, but you don't want to have the guy to have this like 24/7 access to you all the time. So just a few texts back and forth is amazing. A lot of women get anxious, like, oh, he didn't respond to my last text. And I know, Adrienne, you have a great tool about just letting that text lie there, not feeling like you always have to have the last word. And I think a few texts back and forth and then saying something like, I'm feeling tired, I'm off to bed now, or I'm feeling a little restless, I'm gonna go take care of some errands, something like that, and just ending that texting interaction. So there's something for him to keep wanting more of, right?
Yes, and you got to make sure you put his text on sleep or silent, so you're not driving and you're like, oh, this guy keeps bugging me, you know, and you're gonna feel kind of like this guilty feeling like I should be writing him back, I really like it. Don't let it sit there. That man has to miss you. He has to pursue you. He has to get activated. You're not doing this in some malicious, manipulative way. You're just really doing it in an authentic place. I've set my boundary with you. I'm over here. You're over there in text world. I want to be going on a date. You know, you're just making it very clear. Speaking of time, ladies, we're out of time. Please do check out our program. Helena and I put a lot of work into these programs. Find and Keep the One Without Coming Undone is the one we've been referencing tonight, as well as Heartbroken to Happily Ever After. You can get them both in a bundle, and we'll print the link below. Helena, thank you so much for joining me here, and I'll see everybody soon.